Hello everyone and welcome to your home practice. My name is Trishy and for today's class we will be addressing smartphone slump. So many of you probably know what I mean by smartphone slump. It's the slight bend in the shoulders, neck jutting forward, head out in front of you from being on a smartphone a lot. So let's get started. Come and lie down on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Extend your feet wider than your hips and let your knees knock in together. Curl your shoulders onto the back body and extend through your neck. Now, depending on the extreme or mild case of smartphone slump, you may find this very challenging. You may find this perfectly easy. You're just lying on your back. But for a lot of people with posture problems, simply lying on your back on the floor can cause pain. So if you have any pain for today's class, feel free to modify with a pillow or a blanket or back off a pose. We're not trying to force the slump away in one class. It takes practice and time and effort to decrease the smartphone slump. So begin to breathe deeply into your belly. You can place your palms wherever is comfortable and simply just let your spine elongate and lengthen and relax. Become grounded to the floor. Allowing your spine to take its natural curve while lying down. And you can either stay here with your arms down by your sides, or you can progress by raising your arms overhead and holding on to opposite elbows with your palms. Keep breathing into your low belly, and if you wanted to go one step further, simply straighten your legs out in front of you. Keep your feet flexed, heels on the floor. So depending on your slump, this might feel like nothing, or it might feel very intense. The more intense it feels, the more you know you have to reverse your smartphone slump. It may be causing you headaches, or strain in your back or neck locks. Release your arms slowly back down to your side. Bend your knees, roll over, and come and take a comfortable seat, cross-legged. You can either be on a block or just simply sit on the ground. Bring your palms to your knees and begin to do some shoulder rolls forward, up to your ears, and then back and down. Forward, up, back, down, and around. And again, shoulder roll to the back. Keep going. And then switch direction, rolling your shoulders back, up, forward, and down. So keep going at your own pace, staying aware of your breath. Inhaling on the upper and exhaling on the lower. Release, interlace your fingers behind your back body, and bring your shoulders down and away from your ears. Try to keep your spine long and lifted. Bring your chin parallel to the ground. And we're going to start some neck release. So as you inhale, drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Either stay here or walk your left fingertips out to the left. This will accentuate the stretch on your neck. In the final variation, you can either stay in one of the previous variations or simply just place your palm of your right hand on top of your head and pull your left ear away from your left shoulder. So it's important, especially if your posture is rounded, to be very careful when doing these neck stretches and be very mindful and aware of your body and your neck. Try not to push anything too far. Gently turn your head so you're looking down into your right armpit area. And this will give you a nice stretch on the back of your neck. Keep your shoulders back and down as you use the strength of your right palm to help your head back up. Roll your shoulders back as you look up. Fingertips on the ground. And while keeping your chin parallel to the ground, we'll go to the opposite side. So drop your left ear over to your left shoulder. And you can either stay here or walk your right fingertips out to the side. So you may find one side of your neck is a lot more flexible than the other. This side being the left side, I am not as flexible as on my right side, and that can happen a lot. So you can either stay here or simply place your left palm onto the side of your left head and pull your right ear away from your right shoulder. And on your next exhale, switch your gaze looking over to your left armpit. So you're stretching the back of your neck. And use the strength of your left palm to help your head come back in center. Place your fingertips down to the mat and curl your shoulder blades onto your back body as you lift your chest and head up to the sky. And release. And come into tabletop pose. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Index finger pointing towards the front of the mat. As you drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale, curl your spine, chin to chest. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale, chin to chest, round your spine. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, one more round. Bring your spine back to neutral. And walk your fingertips forward into puppy stretch. So your hips stay over top of your knees and you lower your forehead down to the mat while you extend your arms out in front of you. So keep a slight engagement in your core so you're not swaying in the lower back and that your back stays nice and straight and long. Press a little bit deeper into your shoulders while engaging your core. And then walk the palms back in slowly. And sit back on your heels. Come up onto your fingertips, place them behind you, and lift your chest up to the sky. Try to keep the back of your neck long as you squeeze your shoulder blades together, as if you're trying to place a pencil in between. And release, come back forward. Curl your back toes under and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. So feel free to bend one knee and then the opposite, paddling your feet. Lengthen your spine as you press your chest towards your thighs. Turn your head side to side, yes and no. And slowly begin to walk your palms to the back of the mat. Lengthen your feet wider than hip distance apart and keep your knees bent. Clasp onto opposite elbows and just let your body sway side to side in ragdoll fold. This is a great pose for decompressing, especially the upper spine. You can give very high sensation, even though it looks very simple. Shake your head yes and no again. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. If this is too much, just stay in the variation before and try to keep your shoulders away from your neck. Lift your toes. And then bend your knees, release the clasp of your hands, and walk your palms forward into downward facing dog. Press through your heels, spread through your fingertips. Lift your right leg up to the sky, and step your right foot in between the hands. Back foot at a 45-degree angle, come up on your fingertips. And while keeping your spine straight and belly off the thighs, interlace your fingers behind your low back. So your chest is open and your gaze is forward, but you're also keeping some length in the back of your neck. Inhale, lift all the way up, and open your chest. Keep your lower ribs knitting in as much as possible. Bend a little bit deeper into your right knee. Hips square to the front of the mat. Look down. Step your left foot forward to meet the right. Palms are still interlaced, and then take a forward fold. So you can have your knees as bent as you would like, or straight with a micro bend, whichever works for you. Try to keep your spine long. Release your fingers, bring them down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your thighs. Step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down to the mat. And inhale, arms overhead for low lunge. So your left knee is over your left ankle, and you're not swaying too much in your lower back. So there is some core engagement. Palms are facing one another. Bring them back down to the mat, and then straighten through your left leg for half splits. So stay up on your fingertips. For this class, you're going to try to keep your spine as straight as you can instead of just rolling forward over your leg. And then bring your left knee back to meet the right. Tabletop pose. And then simply lift your left leg out to the side as if you're a little doggy squatting on a fire hydrant. So do 10 leg lifts out to the side. good posture also has a lot to do with the strength of your hips and your legs, because a strong foundation rises up into a strong upper body. And then extend your left leg out behind you, come to the inner arch of your left foot, open up to the side for modified side plank, and either raise your left arm overhead or bring the left arm to your lower back. So you're in a half bind. Release. Step back into plank pose. Core is engaged. Drop your knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. Elbows are in, hugging in. Come up onto your fingertips out to the side and curl your shoulder blades onto your back body as you lift up into a modified cobra. So your fingers are wider than shoulder width apart and you're up on your fingertips as you lift. Exhale, release down. Again, curl your shoulders onto the back body and lift up into cobra on fingertips. Lower down. Roll your shoulders back as you lift up again. And then lower all the way down. Plant your palms underneath your shoulders and curl your back toes under as you lift up into downward dog. Take a breath. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Step your left foot in between your hands, back foot at a 45-degree angle, warrior one legs, hips squaring to the front of the mat, and then interlace your palms behind your low back. Belly is off the thigh. Interlace them the more unusual way, so the opposite thumb on top, and keep your spine nice and long. As you inhale, lift up all the way, opening your chest up to the sky, even gazing up if that is comfortable for you. Hips pointing towards the front of the mat. Bend into your hip a little more, and then step your right foot up to the top of the mat to meet the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold over your thighs. Fingers are still interlaced behind you. Reach them as far as you can over the top of your head. And then inhale, release the clasp of your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms down to the mat. Step your left foot back. Drop the left knee down. Low lunge, arms overhead. Take another inhale. And exhale, drop your fingertips down to the mat and straighten through your right leg. Toes are pointing towards your face. So instead of folding over your leg and curling and rounding your spine, keep your back as straight as you can on your fingertips. And then step your right knee back to meet the left, and we'll do those leg lifts on the opposite side. So right knee lifts at a 90-degree angle, lifts again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. So take about 10 all together. Keep nice and straight through your elbows. And as much as possible, keep the weight evenly distributed between your hands and arms. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Lean to the inner edge of the right foot and open up to the long edge of your mat to the right. You can either raise your right arm overhead or bring the back of your right palm to your lower back. Open up as much as possible and look up if you feel like it's comfortable for your neck. If not, just keep your neck looking down or straight ahead. Open a little bit deeper. And then bring your right palm down to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, all the way down to the mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Roll your shoulder blades onto the back body and come into this modified cobra again. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower slowly. Curl your shoulder blades back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Palms underneath shoulders. Push up and back, downward dog. Lengthen through your spine, and then take little baby steps to walk all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, raise all the way up, standing, hands in prayer. Bring your big toes to touch, heels about an inch or so apart, and close your eyes. And we're going to do some arm circles from here. So bring your right arm back, up, and forward. Back, up, and forward. Keep going, flowing with your own breath, and then switch direction. So arm goes up, right arm back, and then down. Up, back, and down. If you find that you're getting a little bit slow in one area, just try to linger your arm a little bit longer in that spot, and we'll switch over to the left arm. So first, bring it back, around, and up. Back, around, and down. Back, around, and down. Try to keep your shoulders square to the front of the mat as much as possible. And then go the opposite direction. So back, down, and up. Arm behind, down along your side, and then up. Keep going. So this is very good for straightening out your upper spine. So step to the top of the mat if you weren't there already. Big toes touch, heels an inch or so apart. Sit down into chair pose. So bending deeply into your knees as you sit back into an invisible chair. Lift your right foot up behind you and then gently step your right foot back parallel to the short edge of your mat. Warrior 2, arms out to the side. Keep squeezing your left knee open and then drop your right palm down. Reverse your warrior, left arm overhead. Bend a little bit deeper into your left knee and then come back into warrior 2. Interlace your fingers behind your back and then dive to the inside of the left knee. Bring your arms up and overhead. So as much as possible, try to remain grounding through your back foot. Trying to distribute your weight as evenly as possible. Inhale, lift back up. Release the clasp of your hands, straighten through your left leg, shift your hips to the back of the mat, arms out to the side, drop your left palm to the inside of your left leg, right arm overhead for triangle. As much as possible, try to lengthen out of your hips to extend your spine, and then as you inhale, bring your right palm over the top of your ear, down alongside your body, and then back overhead. Another time. Bring it back up and forward alongside your body, behind you and up. Forward alongside the ear, down along you and up. Each time you come back up, try to bring your right shoulder blade more onto the back of the body as you open your chest up to the sky. Lean forward, plant your palms. So you're in a high lunge. Plant your right palm down and lift your left arm overhead for a twist. Stay high onto the balls of your back foot and then bring your left palm down. Step back into plank pose. Lower all the way down to the mat. And we're going to do some strengthening. So bring your forehead to the mat, arms out beside you alongside your body behind. Then interlace your palms. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Bring your shoulders onto your back body. And then as you inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest off the mat. And if you feel comfortable, lift your feet. So we're going to be doing poses like this a few more times. And release your hands. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs a little bit from side to side. And then the second variation, bring your arms up above your head so you're completely long in your body, and then when you're ready, inhale, lift your chest, arms and head off the mat, and your legs out behind you. Lift up a little bit more, and then exhale, lower your forehead down to the mat, bend your knees, windshield wiper. Straighten your legs, feet on the mat, interlace your fingers behind your head, so you won't go very far on this one, but this one is also the best for strengthening. So as you inhale, lift your arms and legs off the mat, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Push, push, push into your hands. Lift up a little more and then lower down all the way. Bend your knees, drop your feet from side to side. And then plant your palms underneath your shoulders. Bring your knees go wide, big toes touch, child's pose. Forehead to the mat. So you can either keep your arms straight out in front of you, or you can bring your palms in prayer and place your palms on the back of your neck. So this is also a chest opener and a shoulder opener. If your palms were behind your neck, bring them back forward, curl your back toes under, downward dog. Shake your head no a couple times. Loosen up your neck. And then take little baby steps to the top of your mat. Big toes touch, heels apart about an inch, lift up under your fingertips, flat back. Exhale, fold, and then inhale, raise your arms overhead as you stand up, palms in prayer, sit back, Utkatasana, lengthen through your tailbone, keep your chest open, and then lift your left toes off the mat, and step your left foot to the short edge of the mat, warrior two. Right knee is peeling open and staying over the right ankle. Exhale, reverse your warrior, left palm down, right arm overhead, open up your chest. And release, warrior two, arms extended out to the side. Interlace your fingers behind your back the more awkward way, and then when you exhale, dive to the inner edge of your right knee. Take a nice big inhale through your nose and then exhale through your mouth. Keep strengthening through your right leg and your left foot. And then inhale, lift up all the way. Warrior two, straighten through your right leg. Let your hips go to the back of the mat, and then drop your right palm to the inner edge of your right leg, left arm overhead for triangle pose. So you can look wherever is comfortable for your neck, and then as you exhale, bring your left arm alongside your ear, down along your body, and then up overhead. So keep going at your own pace for these arm circles and triangle. It really does gather a lot of mobility into your shoulders. We want to avoid stiffness in the shoulders. Take one more. And then bend through your right knee, face forward on the top of your mat, step back into plank pose, and lower all the way down to the floor. So we're going to do that strengthening locus three different variations again. So interlace your fingers behind your back body the more awkward way, and then when you're ready, inhale, chest, head, and arms, lift, and legs. If this is too intense, just keep your legs on the ground. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, lower down. Bend your knees, drop your feet from side to side. So doing this just releases any kind of tension that may have built up in the lower back. Raise your arms up overhead so you're in one long line. Bring your shoulders onto the back body and then lift your arms and head off the mat as well as your legs and feet. So these poses are great for developing strength into your back and neck. Inhale, lift a little bit further, and then release. Bend your knees and drop your feet from side to side. And then the final variation, interlace your fingers behind your head. Bring your shoulders onto the back body. As you inhale, lift everything up. Push, push, push your head into your palms. As you build strength into your upper back. Lift a little higher and then exhale, lower down. Bend your knees, drop your feet side to side. Bring your palms underneath your shoulder blades, curl your back toes under, and lift back into downward dog. Turn your head from side to side. Relax your head and neck. And then drop your knees down to the mat, sit back onto your heels, fingertips behind you, lift your chest and head open. So lots of bringing your shoulders onto the back body today. And release. Grab a hold of your block. Both blocks and place them to the long edges of your mat on the second height, and bring your elbows down onto the blocks on top of them. So we're going to do a different variation of puppy stretch. So if this is too intense, because this is pretty intense, you can always do just the variation where your elbows are on the ground that we did at the beginning of class. If you'd like to progress, then you can simply just bring your palms in prayer and bring your palms back behind your neck. So your elbows are on the blocks, your hips are over your knees, and your core is engaged so you're not swaying in your lower back. So a big chest and shoulder opener right here. Try to breathe into your shoulders, and your forehead should be able to reach the mat. If it doesn't, then just simply lower the height of the blocks or bring your elbows onto the ground. Try to lengthen your breath a little bit more. And then walk your knees in a little bit, straighten through your arms, lift up, place your blocks off to the side for now. Plant your palms, spread through your fingertips, and lift back into plank pose. And then lift your hips to downward dog. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Spread through your toes, and then step your right knee behind your right wrist. Left leg out behind you for pigeon pose. So we're going to do another back and shoulder strengthener again. So come up onto your fingertips, being sure that both hips are level and square to the front of the mat and you're not dipping on one more than the other. And you can either stay up on your fingertips or simply lift your palms out back behind you. If you wanted to go a little bit further, interlace your fingers behind you. So you're staying up with back strength. If you wanted to go a little bit further, feel free to raise your arms overhead. Spread through your fingertips as your palms face each other, using the strength of your back to hold yourself up. And then exhale, release, lower down, forehead to the mat or to a block. Relax your body. Relax your breathing. Breathe deep into your belly space. And then plant your palms down on the mat. Curl your left toes under. And then lift up and back into three-legged dog. Right leg lifts. Bend your right knee and open your right hip. Spread through your toes. And then drop your left foot down, or your right foot down to the mat. Raise your left leg up. Step your left foot behind your left wrist. Right leg out behind you. Hips are square and straight. Lift up onto your fingertips, so you're going for a back bend here. If there's any compression or pain in your lower back, you've gone too far. And then either stay like this or interlace your fingers behind you the more unusual way. Open your chest. Use the strength of your back body to open a little further. And you can stay here or you can release the clasp and raise your arms overhead. So I find this very challenging, but you have to engage your back muscles as much as possible. Inhale and then exhale, fold forward over your left bent knee. Bring your forehead to a block or the floor and slow your breathing. Walk your palms underneath your shoulder blades, curl your right toes under and lift back into three-legged dog. Left leg raised, bend your knee, open your hip. Keep pressing through your left shoulder and then drop your left toes down. Drop your knees down to the mat. Grab your blocks. And we're going to come into reclined fish or supported fish. So one block is lengthways to the short edge of your mat and the other one is longways to the long edge of your mat. And the first block goes directly between your shoulder blades and the second block is simply to rest your head upon. So you can take whatever leg variation you like. But because we are working with the smartphone slump, I'm just going to extend my legs out onto the mat and let my feet flop out to the side. Simply just relax your upper body down onto the blocks or bolster. If you have a bolster at home, please feel free to use it. Open your palms to face the sky and focus your awareness onto your breath, letting the breath come from your deep belly area. Try to relax the muscles in your face and your jaw. And then on your next inhale, just roll off the sides of the blocks with your arm, and then just move your blocks off to the side. And then lay back all the way on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Bring your arms out into a T or cactus shape. Shift your hips over to the right, and then drop both knees over to the left. Either keeping one knee stacked on top of the other or crossing your right thigh over the left. Slowly engage your core to bring your knees back center, and then shift your hips over to the left, dropping your knees over to the right, either one stacked on top of the other or left thigh over top of right. Lift your knees back center, uncross your legs, and then stretch your arms and legs out into Shavasana for a nice rest. Palms are facing the sky. Let your feet flop out to the side. Shoulders are on your back body. And just feel all the work that you've done into your shoulders and upper back as you digest and relax for the last couple minutes. Wiggle fingers and toes as you begin to wake up. Flex through your feet. Alternate turning your head from side to side slowly. Raise your arms overhead and take a big stretch. And then roll to one side, coming to take a comfortable seat on your mat. eyes can stay closed, bring your palms to the top of your knees. Turn your head over to the right, and then turn your head over to the left, and then back center. Turn your gaze downward, roll your shoulders back and look up, and then come back center. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale deeply through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Thank you so much for practicing today with me, yogis. Namaste. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this class. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.